Hello everybody, and welcome back to Gamers Among Us. This is Calamity Code, and I've got another watch list for you with 4 new games to keep your eye on. Today, we're looking at Mordhau, a medieval hack-and-slash game released last week, Shakedown Hawaii, the successor to popular action-adventure game Retro City Rampage, the 3rd episode of the episodic graphic adventure game Life is Strange 2, and the upcoming puzzle adventure game A Plague Tale: Innocence. We hope you enjoy. The name Mordhau comes from a German swordsmanship technique in which the attacker inverts their sword, holding it by its blade, and striking the enemy with the pommel of the weapon. It's a fitting title for this hack-and-slash game set in medieval times, in which players will take on their enemies primarily with hand-to-hand combat. You do have access to things like ranged weapons and siege engines, but the combat system emphasizes skill-based sword techniques based on historical techniques such as feints and redirection. The Kickstarter campaign that brought this game to completion was started in March of 2017, and it actually reached its goal in less than 24 hours. 2 years later, last week on April 29th, it was released to immediate success and popularity, and it's quite easy to see why. In Mordhau, there are lots of different modes for you to play. You can do small-scale engagements or larger 64-player battles, with a Battle Royale mode available for fans of that type of game. There's also a cooperative horde mode, where you can team up with your friends and take on AI enemies, or you can play offline by yourself in case you're stuck in the Middle Ages with no internet. See what I did there? The game also features some great character customization, allowing you to change your fighter's face, weapons, and armor. Either way you spin it, this looks like a game full of refreshingly different combat, sure to bring out the Golden Knight in each of us. Or you could just go on a murder spree like a maniacal Knights Templar soldier. Point is, it's your call. Next, we have Shakedown Hawaii, an open-world action-adventure game by V-Blank Entertainment. Like its predecessor, Retro City Rampage, Shakedown includes a top-down perspective with gorgeous 16-bit visuals and has you run around creating chaos in a shady underworld of crime and destruction. Both games approach the world with a parodical sense of humor, with many references to other games and pop culture. Think GTA, but condensed, and in some ways much more extreme. In Shakedown, which was released yesterday on May 7th for the PC, PS4, PS Vita, and Nintendo Switch, you play as the aging, worn-down CEO of a dying company called Feeble Multinational. In order to keep your business afloat, you'll commit all sorts of atrocities, such as sabotaging competitors, raiding the local drug cartel, stealing cars and murdering enemies, and so much more. You'll use a variety of different weapons to destroy your enemies, and there's a destructible environment to play around with as you take your corporate empire to the top. You'll have 3 playable characters and complete freedom to wander the world as you see fit. If the reviews are any indication, this game is a must-play, so go get your harrowing homicidal hula on. This isn't something we normally do, but next we actually have a new episode in an already released game. Life is Strange 2 is, obviously, the sequel to Don't Nod Entertainment's very well received game, Life is Strange, the first episode of which was released in September of last year. Episode 3 is set for tomorrow on May 9th. If you're not familiar with this game, you take control of Sean Diaz, a 16-year-old who is on the run with his younger brother Daniel. I won't spoil it by revealing the finer details of the story, since, after all, this is a graphic adventure where the story plays the biggest role in the game, but what you should know is that it's got some very interesting twists and turns that fans of graphic novels will adore. You don't need to have any knowledge of the first game to play this one either, as Part 2 features brand new characters and locations. However, there is a small free game available called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit that can give you some backstory and introduce you to this world. The first game in this series had some amazing moments, with betrayal, heartbreak, confusion, and rage peppered throughout. We have a long way to go for Life is Strange 2, with the final episode being scheduled for December 3rd, but this is as great a time as any to get yourself into the saga. For our last game, we have a unique puzzle adventure game developed by Asobo Studio. Set to be released on May 14th, A Plague Tale: Innocence follows the story of two siblings fighting to survive during the 100 Years' War and the Black Death pandemic of Europe in the 1300s. Your main objective is to manage and avoid guards and infected rodents, which makes for some great puzzle play that requires quick thinking. You'll mainly be playing as the older sister, Amicia, who can sling rocks as a weapon or a distraction. Your younger brother, Hugo, can be directed towards different objectives while Amicia is occupied or unavailable. You'll also be able to craft different types of projectiles for your sling that can accomplish extra feats, such as igniting fires. What strikes me the most about this game is the beautiful world building and art. For such a simple concept, you'd expect simple visuals to go with it, but this game looks like it'll truly lift the bar for non-AAA games. Across an expansive experience full of alchemy, interesting characters, and the bleak innocence of children trying to survive on their own, Plague Tale should fit right into the collection of anyone that has a love for story-driven games. Going into this list, I wasn't sure what to expect, except from Life is Strange since I'm familiar with that formula, but I think we've got some really good games here that I can urge you to check out. Hopefully you've enjoyed our preview of these 4 games, and if any of them catch your eye, please feel free to let us know. Check out our Discord or Patreon in the links below, and if you've made it this far, we absolutely appreciate it. This has been Calamity Code with GAU, and thanks for watching.